What's up, y'all? It's Tommy here with Everyday Finance, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys about the only 2 bank accounts you need for your LLC. I'll also be explaining a specific technique that I use to keep my money safe and protect my business. So if that's something that interests you, be sure you stay tuned. Now, this thing I'm about to break down to you guys is exactly how I not only manage and to keep my finances in order, but also protect myself just in case anything were to happen, right? I kind of look at the worst case scenario and I try to protect myself from that situation. And I try to make sure that I'm kind of insulated at a bunch of different levels just to have, the extra security in place. Now, to begin right off the bat, first off, if you don't have a business bank account, that's step 1 for you guys. You need to have a business account that you're running your expenses through, right? At this day and age, there's so many accounts out there that are, either free or really cheap bank accounts to have for your business that it doesn't really make sense not to have one. Especially nowadays when we're doing everything online, you can have, if you're running an online business, you need to have an online bank account or some sort of bank account that's strictly for your business. Now, one company I recommend that I actually did a review on is NOVO Bank. I'll link to the review down below, and I also link to their bank account down below as well. This is a company that I've recently started partnering with. So if you want to support the channel, you can just click down below to be able to sign up for an account with them. They pretty much are a, no fees type of bank where you're not getting charged for having an account. You don't get charged for different types of transfers and things that you do. And I shot a whole video breaking down all these different aspects for you to be able to check out. So that might be something that you want to look at if you don't have a bank account yet. Now, when it comes to the bank accounts, okay, I told you there's 2 bank accounts, right? The first one is going to be your operating account. Now, this is account right here is, you don't want this to be at some like rinky-dink bank. You want this to be at a big or reliable bank, because this is where you're going to be doing most of the maneuvering with, and you want to make sure that these guys are reliable. You can either reach them or, they are consistent, that you don't have to worry about them, them having issues like their platform's not working. You're not able to send wires. You're not able to do this, that, and the other. You want to make sure that you can really trust this company, right? One thing I will say, I don't even do any transactions in this account, to be frank. When it comes, I'm not doing any, you're not going to see a bunch of purchasing transactions in this account. Okay. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. What you're mainly going to use this account for is to receive funds. And if you need to make any large purchases or any large payments, okay, typically things that are going to be done through ACH, right? So through transfers or through wire transfers, things like that. If you're a company that says they need you to wire the money, then you're going to do it through this bank account. Okay. What I really do is I try to pay everything I can through credit card. Okay. Now you're probably wondering why. There's a few different reasons for that, right? It adds for me an extra layer of protection. I don't want to be always using my bank account, whether it's using a debit card or even giving out my bank information, my routing number and my account number to all these different companies. Think about what you've been seeing in the news, right? You've been seeing, X company just got hacked. Now it's gotten, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the news, but now it's getting to a situation where, it's not just one company gets hacked. It's like, for example, I'll give you an example. If I build a website, I'm not building a website from scratch. I'm using a platform like, let's say like a Shopify, a Squarespace, a Wix. There's all these companies that have platforms. Now what's happening is hackers have gotten even smarter, and now they're going after those type of companies. They're hacking service providers, and then now once they hack that service provider, then they're hacking all the companies that company works with, right? So typically a company is not going to hack you as an individual, or you if you're a small business. They're going to hack a service provider that works with you, and then from there they're gonna do like they're pretty much going to just throw out a net and just try to hack everybody through different means, right? Obviously, it's a little more complex. I'm trying to simplify it, but that's the gist of it. So I want that extra layer of protection. I don't want to be giving all my information to all these different companies. So what I do is I run all my expenses through a credit card. The benefit with that is if I have an issue, I'll just file a chargeback, right? If I see now it's a situation where if you're dealing with fraudulent transactions, you're going to see it on your credit card. You just report it to the bank. Now, what do you think is going to be a lot easier? For you to try to recover your own money, or for the bank to try to recover their money? right? Which situation sounds better to you? I'd rather be a situation where, you know, I already have fraud protection on this credit card. So if someone does fraud with the card, I just report it and the bank just takes that transaction off of that credit card, right? And they're the ones who are going to figure out how to get the money back. Whereas if I'm in a situation where I get fraud on an actual bank account that I own, it's going to be a lot more difficult. I'm sure it's going to be a lot more hoops to jump through. Granted, it's a lot easier now than it used to be in the past. I've heard in the past it was worse, but nonetheless, it's not something I want to deal with. I don't want to have to worry about the whole cash flow issues and, you know, how long is it going to take for me to fix this situation while I'm trying to run a business in the meantime. Now, the other benefit of this is credit card points. Okay, check out the other videos I've shot on this, but I run all my business expenses through credit cards, or as many of them as I can, because of the points that I'm able to get. These points help me be able to fund my lifestyle as a business owner. Like whether it's I need to fly to a location for a conference or a meeting or something, I can get a free flight, or maybe instead of me flying economy, I can upgrade to business class because of credit card points that I have, right? They're points that I got for free pretty much. I got it just doing, you know, cost of business. I'm just running expenses through my credit card and then paying it off with my operating account. So to kind of give you guys a breakdown of how it works right now, I have a credit card, right? I'm running most of my expenses through this credit card. To pay off the credit card, I'm using the operating account. The operating account's paying off that credit card. I probably do it a couple times a month, maybe once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, just depending on how many transactions I'm running through it. Now, that pretty much gives me two layers of protection, okay? The operating account is going to receive, I use that to receive funds. Like for example, let's say you're taking payments online, it can go into that operating account, okay? And now there still is a risk of somebody pulling money out of that account, but it's a lot less risky because most of the people who have your information or any financial information from you is going to be a credit card, information of a credit card. The only people that really have my account information is going to be the credit card company, because I'm making payments to them, and companies that are paying me, okay? Or companies that I might have had to make large purchases or large payments to that couldn't go through credit card. Now, there still is a risk of people somehow pulling money out of this account, but it's going to be really minimized at that point, okay? But I'm able to stop the rest of that small amount that could possibly affect me. I'm able to stop with this next account. But before I jump into that next account, here's a few banks that I recommend. Again, I mentioned NOVO Bank. That's a company I partnered with. You can work with Lily Bank. There's another company called Axos Bank, and I shot a whole video on these guys that I'll link to down below. But you can also opt for bigger banks as well. You just might have to pay monthly fees depending on where you are with your business, okay? But they're also an option as well. Now, quick note before I jump into the second account, you know, if you're looking to build business credit at some point, then make sure that you do check out my free business funding guide down in the description. I'll basically walk you through how you structure your business correctly. That way you're making sure that you're actually, you're going to be able to start building that business credit and eventually get to a point where you can get funding for your business when you're trying to, expand that business that you've grown. So definitely make sure that you check that out as well. It'll be down in the description. Now, the second account, this is what I like to call the reserve account. You really just need two, right? You only need two accounts. The second account is going to be called the reserve account. Now, this is where I keep the bulk of my cash. Once I have cash in the operating account, I'm typically going to pull out any of the cash that I really don't need for day-to-day operations. I might leave a little bit extra, but I'm going to try to pull that money out and keep it in my reserve account. With this reserve account, I have no debit cards linked to this account. Okay, I have no debit cards. If I get a debit card issued, I'm shredding that card and I don't put that number anywhere. And I do this for a reason. Okay, I want to make sure that there's really no ties to this account. Okay, now this part, I want you guys to listen to it carefully. Okay, make sure you listen to this part is very important. Okay, now I don't link this account to any bills, any vendors, any of that stuff. And I do not pay anything from this account. So nobody has this account in their records. No one has the account number, the routing number, anything like that. Now, this account is linked to my operating account, not the other way around. And this connection doesn't go both ways. So what I mean by that is, if I want to do any type of transfers, whether it's I need to put money into the operating account or I need to take money out of the operating account, I do it all from the reserve account side. So that my reserve account bank, they know how to get the money in and how to pull the money out, but it can't be done from the other side. I can't go to my operating account and say, hey, I want to pull money from the reserve account. And another thing, right? Both of these bank accounts are at separate banks. The reserve account can be at a slower bank. I'm not pressed to get this cash out. If it's that's why I always keep a little bit of money in my operating account. Like I keep more than I really need, right? The money that's at my in my reserve account, I keep it at a whole separate bank. The bank moves different, and I like it that way because I'm making sure that it's never a situation where people are able to get their hands into that account. I'm the one who has to do the transfers. I know the transfer is going to take a day. So I look at that. I kind of plan in my head. If I know that I'm going to need funds, then I'll push funds into the operating account. That way I have it for whatever future date that I need the funds. And that's been pretty much the breakdown, guys. And this structure has helped me keep my business finances secure, okay? And it's going to keep me from any type of crushing business losses, because the big thing that you have to worry about is, like, you got to keep in mind you're running a business, right? If you're in a situation where, let's say you have employees, let's say that, you're especially if you're in like a physical products business, right? You have to constantly buy product and things like that. If you get in a situation where someone gets into your bank accounts, or let's just say a company's not being malicious, but you're paying all these different companies you're using, whether it's different software that you use to run your business, whatever it is, right? And they make a mistake where, let's say they were supposed to pull 10,000 out of your bank account, but the guy who was doing it accidentally typed in an extra zero and he pulled 100,000 out of your bank account. How long is it going to take for them to correct that? Right? And in the meantime, are you going to be able to pay your employees? Are you going to be able to, pay for the product that you need to keep running your business? Are you going to be able to pay for any other expenses that you have to run your business? That's the way I look at it. And that's why I put these layers of protection in there, just so I don't want to ever have something catastrophic happen that could cause me to, cause my business to come to like a screeching halt. That's really what I want you guys to take a minute to kind of look at and just kind of have a different thought process when it comes to it. Okay. So I hope this video kind of broke everything down for you, gave you guys a lot of value. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure you throw a like on this video and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so I know I'm actually on the right track. Okay. And also throw something down in the comments. Let me know what you enjoyed about this video, or what information that really resonated with you, and let me know what other types of business videos that you guys want to see as well. I'm running a business, guys. If you're watching this, more than likely you are too, or you're planning to, and I want to know what kind of questions that you have or experiences that you've had that might be something for me to shoot that I can relay to the rest of the family, right? The rest of the subscribers, everyone else that's watching as well. Alrighty. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you at the next one. Peace.